Wife wants a hall pass. First, the context. We got married hastily as a product of the church she grew up in. I joined the church and we got married young after a brief dating period, though we had known each other since we were 13, and moved off together. I was an awful husband for long periods of time, especially early on. As our marriage wore on, we eventually left our church, which was a huge moment for her especially. Because of my own childhood issues and because of her childhood with sexual assault involved, we developed some very large bedroom issues. This eventually culminated in a separation in 2019, where I moved in with a friend for the worst month of my life while she contemplated divorce. At the end of that month, and at the recommendation of her friend, we decided to try something we both considered pretty radical. We took MDMA together, and on that trip were able to work through it all. I immediately moved back in. It was a truly astonishing transformation for both of us individually and as a couple. We often reflected to each other that we felt like we could make it through anything with the growth we were able to experience from our shared psychedelic experiences and the individual work we did subsequently. About a month ago, she was clearly acting off one day. I asked her what was wrong and got the look that I knew meant trouble. We spent that night crying and talking because the previous night she had a nightmare involving her childhood sexual assault. It was causing her to re-examine our marriage and my past actions. She was suddenly not sure she could continue in the marriage. Just like that, my world flipped upside down again. For the last 5 weeks, I've been living in my home office on an air mattress. I can't touch her. We haven't had sex in about a month and a half. It's crushing me. I committed to hard work again, and to my credit I have done a lot. I've been facing my childhood traumas head on and working on myself with an intensity I've never thrown myself into anything with. She has outlined a few issues. First, my unresolved mommy and daddy issues are being brought into my own parenthood. I am using my wife and kids to my own ends, leeching off them and seeking personal validation in toxic ways and causing bad vibes all the while. Second, she admitted that she struggles being attracted to me at all anymore at my weight. This was a gut punch, but perhaps a needed one. I've lost 12 pounds since then, working out and dieting with a coach. And then she dropped the biggest bomb. She feels resentful that I got to have sexual experiences prior to our marriage since she wasn't allowed that because of her church. She wants to have those experiences now. She questions the societal view of marriage and the power structure caused by it. I pressed her to understand more. She sees it as hooking up with 1 or 2 guys, using protection and being as safe as possible and not having communication with them. She wants to feel desired from someone who isn't me. She thinks this will help resolve some sexual issues as well as allow her to feel some power and autonomy that she feels I have withheld from her. I am so crushed. I want to be positive about it and peacefully let it happen. I see the ultimate best case being that she tries, or even succeeds, and realizes how empty it is and comes back healthier for her experience. Of course, all the other more negative scenarios run through my mind all day every day. In the end, she made it clear there was no allowing it. She's going to do it, and I can choose whether or not to stay married to her. We have 3 kids and 12 years of marriage, and another 9 of friendship prior to consider. I am at a crossroads wondering if staying around while she uses a hall pass, as she has called it, is the ultimate form of self-disrespect, or if this is something she truly feels she needs for her healing purposes. Leaving would be incredibly difficult both emotionally and logistically. I am still so very much in love with her and don't know what to do. There are many people who have open marriages, relationships, and are perfectly content with this behavior. The difference between that and what your wife is describing is partner consent. She has basically said, "I'm going to cheat on you one way or another, and you can give me permission or you can shut up about it." That is not a healthy perspective for a marriage. I also note that she has a lot of criticism for you, and blames you for a lot of her unhappiness. I would greatly encourage you to seek individual counseling, without her. It's my belief that your marriage is near being over and you need to have a neutral party helping you navigate what is actually your fault and what she is manipulating you into thinking you are at fault for. She can have a hall pass with a side of divorce papers, lol, fuck that. She needs therapy. If she hasn't cheated already, she has some guys lined up. You admit to your failings, that's good. It doesn't give her the right to hurt you to get sexually even. I'm sorry this has happened to you. It's best to work on yourself and make you better. From what you describe, there is no coming back. She may resolve her resentment issues, but you will then have them. Not worth it, my opinion. In the end, she made it clear there was no allowing it. She's going to do it and I can choose whether or not to stay married to her. That's a hard no. She's making it clear that she is a lone wolf and you can go fuck yourself if you don't like it. That's no longer a marriage and you would be a fool to remain in it under those terms. Once she has established that she can do whatever she wants, the deal is broken and she can do whatever she wants. In fact, once she says that she is going to do it, the deal is broken. Just move on with your self-respect intact. Don't let her beat you down any further. I have a feeling she cheated already. Update to last post. I've fallen for my coworker. Hello everyone, this is an update to my last post here. A few days after I posted this I went to my wife and begged her to talk to me. She obliged for once and we had a discussion about my waning faith in our relationship. I told her that I was starting to slip away and I need her to let me know if she still wanted to stay. I told her I'm getting no love from her and that I'm honestly scared that I'm going to start to look for it in someone else. My wife looked at me for all but 2 seconds, walked away and said, "I'll let you know." I'm devastated. I guess my marriage really is over. She couldn't even spend more than a minute talking about our issues, she couldn't even look me in the eyes. She has gone to her mother's house at the beginning of the week and hasn't spoken to me since. Meanwhile on my end, the mentioned coworker needed a ride home after work one day so I offered. I never drove her home before, but that whole car ride we were laughing, dancing to music, talking. I was so enamored that I could barely pay attention to the laws of the road. I couldn't stop thinking about it even after I dropped her and was on my way home. I feel as if I have cheated and I need to fess up. Call your wife and ask if she wants a divorce or you get a lawyer and start the divorce. Your coworker isn't someone you should get involved with until after a divorce and you are in a better place. As someone who has been the new flame, do not get involved until it is all very much over and a divorce is at the very least well and truly in motion. Don't rush that. It's not good for anyone. I don't think you've truly fallen for your coworker. You've fallen for the attention, because you aren't getting it at home. You're desperate for it, even crossing the boundaries of professional behavior because you have no business getting involved with someone you work with. You could blow up your professional life as well as your marriage. It's possible she said, "I'll let you know," out of shock. Especially if this has never been discussed before. Try to start the conversation again. If you still don't get what you need, or she is not open to it working on it, it's time to separate and start divorce proceedings. At the same time, it's up to you to go to therapy and figure out exactly what you need in a relationship to feel loved and secure. You married her after not having sex with her for 2 years. And then, unsurprisingly, she had no interest in you after marrying you, either. She's telling you over and over she doesn't want you. Not sure why she married you. My guess is money or social standing. But time to start listening to her when she tells you she doesn't care about you. I can't even say it's over because it never was to begin with. You shouldn't be alone with that coworker if you're really trying to stay married. Especially since you said your feelings are romantic for her. Be smarter and don't put yourself in problematic situations. Have you ever had sex with your wife? In your previous post, it sounds like that never happened. I don't understand why you married her in the first place. Was it because you were just close friends? I think people here need more information to understand and give you advice other than call a lawyer and divorce. Pregnant 32F. I just found out that I was pregnant last week. My boyfriend 29M of almost 3 years, immediately scheduled an abortion without asking me. Now he is treating me horribly and not responding to my texts. He went out tonight, didn't tell me anything except that he would see me after he finished his beer, and I haven't heard anything. It's been 3 hours. I'm heartbroken. He won't talk to me. He refused to discuss any other options. I'm financially stable and own my home. I have a daughter too. Should I just do this without him? I've been a single mother and I made it work. I just can't believe that this was his response, to try and hurt me. Any advice is appreciated. Regardless of what you decide to do about the pregnancy, this man has already shown you that he is practically eager to abandon you. This is who he is when it counts, so you're better off without him. How the fuck does any non-spouse make any medical appointment without the consent of the patient? What the fuck? Well, if you want to keep the baby then obviously don't freaking go. If he's being irrational and irate then you should probably keep your distance from him in case he tries to hurt you or the baby inside you. If you keep it, you better put him on child support. Well, it's obvious to me that you need to break up with him as this reaction is completely unacceptable and I doubt it happened in a vacuum. However, I would consider going through with termination. You know with certainty that this man is going to be a nightmare co-parent every step of the way. He will not be there for the child. You will have to hound him for child support. If he does retain custody to reduce child support, he will be a shitty dad and poor communicator. Do you really want to deal with all that for the next 18 years? Do you want to subject a child to that? Keep your baby, which you seem to want, and lose him. He is being horrible. Unfortunately, life sucks ass. I am sorry he is being a dick. Not even talking about it is grounds for ditching his ass for life. He has zero respect for you. Alcohol is more important than your well-being. He is trying to control you and your body. This is a huge indicator of a truly bad and heartless partner. My friend drunkily confessed her love to me, and told me seeing me with other women bothers her. I, 26F, have known my friend, I'll refer to her as Emma, 26F, since we were in the 2nd grade. Both of us had weird home lives, and that helped us become extremely close extremely fast, as we would always be there for each other in the place of any family. At this point she is by far the most important person in my life. That all said, when we went out to a club with a bunch of our other friends one night, I was hitting on a woman, and next thing I know Emma's absolutely plastered. So I exchanged numbers with the woman I was talking to and took Emma home. Since we are normally pretty affectionate with each other, I didn't think much of her being so touchy-feely or asking me to stay a bit longer while she gets comfortable. When I was getting ready to leave and meet up with the woman from the club, Emma stopped me and said, "I know I am in no position to say this, but seeing you with other women really bothers me. I know what you're looking for and I could give you that and so much more if you would just let me." I told her we will talk about that when she sobers up, but called off my plans for the night and stayed at her place to make sure she would be okay. The next morning I woke up to a coffee and a text from her apologizing for her behavior, and letting me know she had to leave for work. After that Emma refused to talk about what happened, and just says it was more of her drunk nonsense. This has been the only thing on my mind since it happened. Like even if her being drunk dramatized things, there has to be some grain of truth to what she said. I don't want to let this go, but I see no other options here. Does anyone have any insight into the situation or advice that could help? If you're interested, then tell her. It's as simple as saying something like, "Hey, I know you don't want to talk about it, so I'm just going to say this. If you meant it, I am open and willing to explore that path with you and see where it takes us. If you didn't and it really was just drunk nonsense, then that's cool too and I'm fine keeping our friendship as it is. I just want you to know whichever way you want our relationship to go, I'll follow your lead." She's likely embarrassed. You can try to bring it up to her again and say that when you heard her say that, it made you happy and excited. If you guys are best friends, if it turns out she wasn't serious, this won't change much of anything for either of you. But if she was serious and merely felt embarrassed and neither of you speak of it again, regret is a bitch to say the least. She is interested, this is fact. Seriously take this opportunity, if you get along great, take it and never look back. You will always regret it if you don't try and date what sounds to be an amazing woman. So little to lose but so much to gain. Are you interested in dating her? That's not something someone says cause they're drunk, it's something someone can't filter because they're drunk. Sounds like you have a potentially lovely girlfriend if you play your cards right and she can find her courage. I love the suggested language above about being willing to explore that path. Perfect balance of letting her know you're interested but also allowing things to settle back to your friendship if she's interested but not feeling brave enough to move forward right now. Oh, my sweet useless lesbians. Please ask her out, or at least tell her that you'd truly like to date her if she was open to it.